Hello everyone, this is Leo Predictions. I'll be doing my 2026 Senate prediction as of May 2026. Before I begin, make sure to follow me on X, also known as Twitter, Instagram, and join my Discord server. First, let's move on to Trump approval rating polls, an average as of May 18, 2026. With his approval currently at 38.2% and disapproval at 58.8%. And I linked the source over there, so if you want to check it out, feel free to. Moving on to the 2022 generic ballot polls. Because I do my predictions based off polls and data and based off 2022 midterms, polls were inaccurate by 0.3%, favoring, underestimating Republicans. And moving on to 2026 generic ballot polls, Democrats lead by 6.5% in average, as of May 19, 2026. And the link is over there if you want to check it out. And there's 100 total Senate seats, and in order for a party to win, they must win 51 seats. Now, Republicans currently hold the vice president, so if they were to win 50 seats, it's a tie, but because J.D. Vance is a vice president and he's a Republican, Republicans would win control. This is the blank map. Again, 51 seats needed to win, unless Republicans win 50 seats. Moving on to 6 p.m. Eastern Time poll closings in Kentucky, we can project that Andy Barr would easily win Kentucky Senate election, with 59.9% of the vote, and Charles Booker winning 39.2% of the vote. And these are the county results. Now looking at the updated Senate results, Democrats currently at 34 seats, Republicans currently at 32 seats. Moving on to 7 p.m. Eastern Time poll closings in Virginia, South Carolina, Georgia, and Florida. We can project in Virginia that Mark Warner wins with 56% of the vote, and Burt Mizusawa winning 41% of the vote. And these are the county results. Now we can project in South Carolina, Lindsey Graham wins the Senate election with 55.6% of the vote, and Andy Andrews winning 42.9% of the vote. These are the county results. Now in Florida, we can project that Ashley Moody wins the Senate election with 54.6% of the vote, and Alex Vindeman winning 44.6% of the vote. And these are the county results. Now looking at the updated Senate results, Democrats currently at 35 seats, and Republicans currently at 34 seats. Moving on to 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time poll closings in Ohio, West Virginia, and North Carolina. We can easily project in West Virginia that Shelley Moore Capito wins the Senate election with 69% of the vote, and Rachel Fetty Anderson winning 31% of the vote. And these are the county results. Looking at the updated Senate results, Democrats at 35 seats and Republicans also at 35 seats. Now moving on to 8 p.m. Eastern Time poll closings in Maine, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, New Jersey, Delaware, Michigan, Illinois, Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi, South Dakota, Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas. We can predict in Oklahoma that Kevin Hern easily wins the Oklahoma Senate election with 63.9% of the vote, and Jim Priest winning 33.6% of the vote. And these are the county results. We can easily project that Barry Moore wins the Alabama Senate election with 62.9% of the vote, and the Democratic nominee winning 36.4% of the votes. And these are the county results. We can easily project in the Tennessee Senate election that Bill Hagerty will win with 62.9% of the votes, and the Democratic nominee will win 37.1% of the votes. And these are the county results. We can easily project that Mike Rounds wins the South Dakota Senate election with 62% of the votes, and Julian Biodion wins 36.3% of the votes. And these are the county results. We can easily project that Ed Markey wins the Massachusetts Senate election with 60.8% of the votes, and John Deaton winning 37.5% of the votes. These are the county results. We can easily project that Chris Coons will win the Delaware Senate election with 58% of the votes, and John Shuley winning 40.8% of the votes. And these are the county results. We can project that Jack Reed wins the Rhode Island Senate election with 57.3% of the votes, and Raymond McKay winning 41.7% of the votes. And these are the county results. We can project that Juliana Stratton wins the Illinois Senate election with 57.4% of the votes, and Don Tracy winning 42.6% of the votes. And these are the county results. We can project that Cindy Hyde-Smith wins the Mississippi Senate election with 54.4% of the votes, Scott Collin winning 39.6% of the votes, and Independent Ty Pinkins winning 6% of the votes. And these are the county results. We can project that Roger Marshall wins the Senate election in Kansas with 56.2% of the votes, and the Democratic nominee winning 43.8% of the votes. And these are the county results. Now moving on to the Senate results map, with Democrats currently at 39 seats and Republicans at 41 seats. Now moving on to 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time poll closings in Arkansas. We can project that Tom Cotton wins the Arkansas Senate election with 62.7% of the votes, and Haley Schaffner winning 36.2% of the votes. And these are the county results. Now looking at the Senate results map, Democrats currently at 39 seats and Republicans currently at 42 seats. Moving on to 9 p.m. Eastern Time poll closings in Minnesota, Iowa, Nebraska, Wyoming, Colorado, New Mexico, and Louisiana. We can easily project that Harriet Hageman wins the Wyoming Senate election with 70.9% of the votes, and James Byard winning 29.1% of the votes. And these are the county results. We can easily project that Julia Letlow wins the Louisiana Senate election with 58.8% of the votes, and the Democratic nominee winning 40.7% of the votes. And these are the county results. Parish results. Moving on to Colorado, which John Hickenlooper wins the Senate election with 56.8% of the votes, and Mark Baisley winning 41.9% of the votes. And these are the county results. Moving on to New Mexico Senate election, Ben Ray Lujan winning 53.7% of the votes, and Larry Marker, if he wins the Republican primary with write-ins, 43% of the votes. If he doesn't, then Ben Ray Lujan easily win in a landslide. These are the county results. Cory Booker easily winning New Jersey Senate election. Somewhat competitive, but he gets 54.6% of the vote, and the Republican nominee getting 44.7% of the votes. And these are the county results. Democrats currently at 42 seats, Republicans currently at 44 seats. And 51 seats are needed to win. Now moving on to 10 p.m. Eastern Time poll closings in Montana and Idaho. We can easily project that Jim Risch wins the Idaho Senate election with 64.8% of the vote, and David Roth winning 32.4% of the vote. And these are the county results. We can easily project that Kurt Olney wins the Montana Senate election with 53.4% of the vote, Riley Neal winning 30.3% of the vote, and independent Seth Bonar winning 15.6% of the vote. And these are the county results. We can project that Ashley Hinton wins the Iowa Senate election. It is a battleground state, with her winning 52.8% of the vote, and Josh Turk winning 45.9% of the vote. And these are the county results. We can project that Graham Plattner wins the Maine Senate election, flipping it from red to blue, with him winning 51.5% of the vote, and Susan Collins winning 45% of the vote. And these are the county results. Now looking at the Senate results map, Democrats currently at 43 seats, and Republicans currently at 47 seats. And 51 seats are needed to win. Moving on to 11 p.m. Eastern Time poll closings in Oregon. We can project that Jeff Merkley wins the Oregon Senate election with 59.1% of the votes, and the Republican nominee wins 40.9% of the votes. These are the county results. We can project that John Husted wins the Ohio Senate election. Now this is another battleground. He narrowly wins with 51.5% of the vote, and Sherrod Brown winning 47.9% of the vote. And these are the county results. We can project that Ken Paxton wins the Senate election, another battleground, with him winning 49.4% of the votes, and James Talarico winning 44.6% of the vote. And these are the county results. We can project that Peggy Flanagan wins the Minnesota Senate election with 52% of the votes, and Michelle Tafoya winning 47.1% of the votes. This is another battleground as of right now, based off polls. And these are the county results. Pete Ricketts wins the Nebraska Senate election, another battleground, with him winning 49.4% of the votes, and Don Osborne, the independent, winning 44.6% of the votes. And these are the county results. We can now project that Democrats win 45 seats and Republicans win 50 seats, resulting in them winning control of the Senate again. Simply because J.D. Vance is the vice president and he's a Republican, Democrats only needed 50 seats to win, because J.D. Vance, as vice president, would be the tiebreaker. Now moving on to 12 a.m. Eastern Time poll closings in Alaska. We can project that Roy Cooper wins the North Carolina Senate election. This is another battleground. He flips the seat from Republican to Democrat. He wins 50.3% of the vote, and Michael Watley winning 47.9% of the vote. And these are the county results. We can project that Chris Papas wins the New Hampshire Senate election. This is another battleground, with him winning 50.8% of the votes, and John Sununu winning 47.4% of the votes. These are the county results. We can project that Mike Rogers wins the Michigan Senate election. This is another battleground, with him flipping it from Democrat to Republican, with him winning 51.2% of the vote, and outside winning 48.8% of the votes. And these are the county results. Moving on to Alaska Senate election, Dan Sullivan narrowly wins is another battleground state, with him winning 51.1%. Moving on to ranked choice voting, final round, and Mayor Patola at 48.9%. And these are the county results. Moving on to Georgia Senate election, another battleground, John Ossoff winning narrowly with 50.48% of the vote, and Mike Collins winning 49.52% of the vote. And these are the county results. Now moving on to the final Senate results, with Democrats at 48 seats and Republicans at 52 seats, with Democrats gaining 1 seat. These are the county results. And we can project that Republicans win control of the Senate again, with 52 seats out of 100.